I mean, my goodness, it's been blanket coverage, hasn't it, of Harry and Meghan since they made that announcement that they are stepping back, I think they said, as senior royals. Much of the coverage today is very much focusing on Meghan and Meghan's role and decision. Meg's mugs us off, all that kind of stuff, and it's like where she might have gone wrong since her relationship with Harry went public, and how she's apparently changed him. I mean, Jane, do you think it's fair that so much focus seems to be on her, the woman?
Well, Megxit is a great headline, isn't it, in terms of what we've been going through here in the last 3.5 years. And it was originally in the New York papers, actually. It was one of their headlines. I thought it was quite clever. But, yeah, I agree. Obviously, it is focusing on her. But in a way, I mean, I think a lot of people are saying, you know, there is the argument that it's to do with her being mixed heritage and it's somehow racist. I don't think it's anything to do with that. I think it's because she's American. Not because she's American per se, but because she is from another country. And I think she's homesick. I think she's homesick. And I get it, you know. I kind of think it's a big deal to up sticks and come and live in another country. But when you're upping sticks to live within an institution that you, as an American, probably don't really... You haven't grown up with it. You don't understand, you know, people warned her. She said that. But it's like before you go to the dentist or before you have your first child. People warn you, but you never really know until you're in it.
Yeah.
And so I think, you know, they went away for 6 weeks and I think she just thought,
but see,
this is the life I want.
Why do
and
we
I
think
get it.
that it's always she thought? Do you know what I mean? I actually think that we don't give Harry any credit or any responsibility for having informed decisions in that relationship. We just pretend or say that he's totally dictated by Meghan, which I don't think is true.
No, but I think the element of going to live potentially in Canada or America is because that's where her friendship base and her family support are. And it's not
but the fact is, we are all speculating, aren't we? We are all speculating.
But that's not who they are. That plays out in families.
But the speculation, as you say, is all about her.
Yeah.
The interest is all in her. He's the one who's the Queen's grandson. He's the one, you know, who really is taking the big decision.
And they both would have made that decision together,
but he seems
with equal
peripheral.
responsibility. Yeah, it's always on her. I am at a point now where I'm like, God, why won't people just leave her alone?
But do you think he would move to... Do you think he would have moved away? So, for example, he dated Chelsea Davy for years and the word was always that he was very keen for them to marry and that she knew the life and just said, I don't want that life. I don't want to live in that goldfish bowl. Same with Cressida Bonus.
But then I would say that she probably wasn't in love with him the way that they're in love with each other.
But what
when you love someone, you
but what I'm saying is that if, for example, he had married... Well, Chelsea Davy's kind of partially... I think she mostly lives in South Africa. But say he'd married Cressida Bonus. If they wanted to vacate from the royal family, or this halfway house thing would be a lot easier to do if they were both in Britain where their families are. I get that, but it's the geographical. But the problem is going to be, how are you going to do royal duties?
But it's still
flying
get away from the
backwards and
fact
forwards.
that most of the coverage has been that Meghan's the problem, hasn't it?
But you know, the thing is, if you think about... I mean, don't we all, when we get into... Because the thing is, we all thought that we knew Harry. Harry who loves the army, Harry who loves his granny and his brother's wife and we knew him and we didn't know her. But when I think about how much I changed just within a couple of years of being with Mark, or a year, all for the good,
Still
I might
messy.
say. Still messy, but so many things that I changed. I felt stronger in my opinions. I felt more able to say what I wanted. I rediscovered the fact that I could have ambitions, and so it was a really positive influence. My feeling is that he actually, because I always say this, I think we choose what we really want, even if we choose a bad relationship, it's what we really want. I think he subconsciously chose the woman that would take him away from that.
Yeah.
I really believe he has post-traumatic stress about his mother dying. When you hear him say a flash of a bulb, a click of a camera, he goes, I get that fear. And I really feel he's doing something that he couldn't do for his mum. It's almost like whenever I see them talk, that's what I feel from him.
But
obviously this is all psycho babble. Did he need
to find a woman to do that? I mean, if that was the story.
It's not about find a woman to do that, but when we go into a relationship, we evolve and we can realise things that we might not have been able to.
For me, it's not
before
so
that
much,
other influence
I don't think
comes
it's so
in.
much
Not necessarily negative.
Meghan per se. I think it's having a baby. I think that when you have a
Keep
child
trained.
of your own, it suddenly makes the world seem like a much scarier place. And I think all of the things that you might have suppressed come out in wanting to protect your child. And so I think a lot of stuff that maybe Harry didn't deal with the death of his mother has been brought to the forefront with the birth of Archie. And I get that completely. For me, I say, good luck to them. I want them to be able to do what makes them happy. For me, the problem is that, you know, dealing with your own, with where you want to be with your family is one thing, but when it's the royal family, that's an institution. And where it's going to be tricky is how they finance this decision.
I mean, and all of that has yet to be decided, hasn't it? I mean, I do think it's interesting because everyone loves Kate now, basically because Kate doesn't say much and knows her place, and Meghan didn't.
No, but
I do wonder, but
Kate, in
we're
fairness,
out of time.
all her family are here. All her
We're out of
family
time.
are here, so
Yeah.
she's got a support network here.
Yeah, well, Meghan doesn't seem to be close to her family anyway.